Hello, and welcome to new update from the Markets Middleman. Today is Monday, May 4, and this time I wouldn't make an analysis or to share what I'm expecting from price, but instead I decided to do something new, which is to recap my trades from April, which I think was one of the best months so far in 2026. So this kind of recap is about the executions that I've taken on EU and GU specifically. It's for me to just review my trades, share with you all of the good part and the mistakes that I've done, and what we could have done better in terms of determining setups, identifying A plus, and avoid getting into any trade without confirmation, and so on. So without further ado, I will start from the first week of April on EU. So April started from Wednesday. So I'm gonna skip this part because I really didn't take any trade on EU within this week. But after first official week from April, here we go. So price opened after the weekend, okay, swept Thursday's low. Okay, right after sweeping Thursday low, we saw the first push to the upside. So we woke up on Monday, London session, we already saw that a displacement had already taken place. Now, this displacement closed above the SPY side, but not fully. So usually I would still need another confirmation when price retraces lower, simply because this is not like a full run on liquidity. So usually it might trap some buyers, but then price reverses. But what showed me that this could be a potential retracement and a continuation to the upside is what happened after tapping into the buy side liquidity. So price made a high, swept the high. Now usually if this was about to be bearish, I want to see that price sharply displaced below this breaker. But what happened is the following. After New York close, price went sideways. Up until Asia session went down. At this point over here, we really don't know if price gonna continue lower or just gonna or this was the manipulation and there's gonna be a distribution up until London open. So price inverted this bearish fair value gap, and then the first hour from London displaced higher, leaving a bullish order block on the 1 hour time frame. By the way, this whole recap is gonna be on the 1 hour time frame to show you guys that okay, you make the analysis from the daily time frame, 4 hour, etc. But you really don't need to scale below the 1 hour time frame unless a little bit later on when you wanna sharpen your entry or you wanna take a double confirmation, then you can scale into the 15 minutes time frame or the 5 minutes time frame. But if you really wanna trade just the 1 hour time frame, you can actually perceive all of the setups you need, take confirmation, and also execute all on the 1 hour time frame. So anyway, here's the bullish 1 hour order block, and after I saw this 1 hour candle close, I got the idea that okay, all of this was accumulation, manipulation through Asia, and the objective of London is to distribute higher based on this break of structure and a potential sweep to Thursday high since Thursday low was taken. So I placed my first trade on the 1 hour order block. I protected my stop loss around Asia low or this low on the 1 hour, and I targeted this buy side liquidity. I went out a little bit before the buy side. So this was the first trade, booked around 2.2 hours, and it was very fast delivery from the month from the session. And right after the close of this 1 hour, I'll show you. After this 2 hour close, it really confirmed a break of structure. Okay, not only above this high, but also above this high. So there was an actual continuation to the upside, opening the target of Thursday high and the buy side liquidity. So what I was waiting for, first hour of New York session to be swept, okay, to continue the narrative to the upside. So I was waiting for something like this in order for me to continue the narrative to the upside, but unfortunately it didn't give me a retrace, or you could have just entered another order right around the 1 hour order block. You could have placed your stop loss over here and targeted Thursday high as a conservative. This could have been a great trade, even though if you wanna protect it with this order block, this could have been a significant continuation trade. So I'm sharing with you the trades that I've taken and the trades that you personally could have taken based on the same narrative. So all of the trades you're gonna see something similar or something consistent, a break of structure, an area of interest, and a continuation. Or in this case, a reversal, where price taps into a certain level, make a break of structure, and then goes into the opposing liquidity. So all of the narratives, all of the trade executions that you would see will be split into those two parts over here. So without further ado, let's continue. I will remind you with the update that I've done on price, and we saw how price changed the character for the first time. It was making lower lows, lower highs up until here. We closed above this buy side liquidity, but there was really a great and very big significant imbalance on the 12-hour time frame over here. So what I was thinking is that all of this is just accumulation, manipulation, and we're gonna continue distributing to the downside based on the DXY and EU structure and GU. So up around this 12-hour fair value gap, I actually took a first order shorts, okay, with before the confirmation. Okay, so this was right at quote an optimal level, anticipating that price is gonna drop from here. So I was interested to place my first limit order at this 12-hour fair value gap, protecting it with the 12-hour fair value gap candle, and then targeting the opposing liquidity based on my bearish bias from EU. So this was placed with half my risk, simply because it's coming before the confirmation. But yes, price didn't waste much time to just invalidate this idea overall, and this was an actual loss. Then after that, I realized that okay, since we had a break of structure or change of character for the first time above this high, then price needs some time to retrace. So I postponed my bearish bias, and then I continued trading normally, anticipating a bullish bias. So here price retraced back into the imbalance, then created a minor market structure shift internal, and the objective was open to take this buy side, which is the high of Wednesday. I didn't take the trade here because I take it on GU, simply because it made a clear sweep. We will see GU very soon, but this was also available on EU since those two pairs moved together. So what happened is the following: price again swept this buy side liquidity, and instead of inverting this leg and showing clear signs of reversal, it just went sideways, and then on Friday tapped into a 12-hour order block. And on the lower time frame here, there was a clear change of character on the 5 minutes time frame, so you could have taken this trade also from this internal range to the external range, the high of Friday. I'm still not taking all of the setups that shows me confirmation on the lower time frame. For now, I'm sticking to all of the confirmation from the 1 hour time frame and above, simply because I'm taking my time with executing on the lower time frame. I'm already having some trials and some tests, so hopefully soon I'll be able to share everything I've come up to on the lower time frame. Same thing over here, price retraces back into the 2 hour fair value gap. On the 5 minutes and 15 minutes here, there was a beautiful change of character after price is showing break of structure, clear break of structure, clear draw on, and a buy side liquidity that is not taken yet. So far those 2 weeks, oh sorry, yes, I also had one trade taken, which is a wrong trade. It was an anticipating trade. So notice over here, price yes did swept this buy side liquidity, but it couldn't manage to close below this sell side over here. Okay, this close is less than 0.1 pips, so it's not a change of character. This is not a valid change of character since we didn't see a proper close below the sell side. But because GU was trading around this level, okay, and I was already in a short position on GU, which we will see very soon, I anticipated that EU would retrace back into this breaker and just continue lower. And this is a very dangerous adjustment because, or assumption, sorry, because even though those two pairs move together, that doesn't mean that they will actually move together 100% of the time. In fact, this was a huge SMT that GU was able to break the structure, but EU couldn't. So EU showed pure strength, but I didn't interpret this as strength. I interpreted it as a delayed correlation, and that price would actually continue lower. So what I've done is that I placed my limit order at this breaker over here, protected with this candle's low, and I was targeting this low over here. And of course, This trade was a full loss of full 1 hour. So on New York session, I actually took the trade after the sweep of this 1 hour candle in an anticipation that a displacement could take place. Now, how I could have avoided this trade by simply either not trading this short because of the absence of change of character, or simply wait on the 15 minutes time frame for a clear market structure shift, and then I can front run this full displacement to the downside. So this was a clear trade taken, a mistake. I can call it like a clear mistake on taking this trade prior to change of character, prior to a confirmation on the 1 hour time frame. So far those 2 weeks I've taken a trade, take profit, a half loss before confirmation. I thought that I have the confirmation already with full loss at this trade. Now moving into before the last week of April. Once Friday closed, okay, before Friday closed, it swept the major buy side, swept also the buy side of Thursday, and with Monday open, it clearly showed a change of character. So this, you could perceive this as the full displacement, and price would retrace back into a certain level, preferably above the 50%, which was an OB30. It was the only order block on the 30 minutes time frame around this level, plus a 2 hour imbalance. So that made sense. This retracement made sense that it's retracing almost 50% of this displacement to the downside, and now we see a clear change of character. Okay, look how much the gap was lower from this sell side. So there was a clear change of character. This is the only reason why it made sense to look for shorts around this level, or at least to determine a clear bias that right now we are very bearish until this sell side on EU after sweeping a major buy side liquidity. So this was Monday. Monday was no trade. We're just waiting for the market to retrace. Tuesday, right at Asia session or before Asia session, the time window that I don't trade because I'll be sleeping. Tuesday swept Monday's high and made first displacement to the downside, retraced into a breaker. This is also on 8 a.m. my time. This is not New York time, by the way. This is my time. So we were just waiting for any kind of proper structure to the downside so that we can start placing our short trades. So notice this structure over here, okay? Right at New York session, you could perceive this as a sweep and market structure shift, and this was the only 1 hour order block that was created within this leg to the downside. And you know how I like to use order blocks? I want to see the order block that is the only up closing candle within a downward move or an upward move. So notice on New York session, just 1 hour before New York, how price swept this order block in a fast way and then delivered. So you could see this as a break of structure, sweep into Monday's high, and a full displacement that is convincingly not reaching any significant imbalance or something. So it opened the level to this sell side. So Monday's high to Monday's low. So also I haven't taken this trade. Price was extremely fast going up even on the lower time frame. It was very fast and volatile. So I simply waited to raid this sell side and close below it, confirming a break of structure. Now notice on the EU, price did close below this sell side, marking a break of structure after a change of character. So by this time we had a change of character, market breaking the lows for the first time, and then followed by a break of structure. Maybe it's not the best break of structure like this, but on DXY it showed a clear break of structure to the upside. So using the correlation between EU and DXY, it was a little bit enough. This break of structure was enough to take it into consideration. Now, notice how price was very choppy, moving back and forth. And even though this was a significant liquidity, it was taken and mitigated already. So I wanted another confirmation from price over here to show us that it's going to be bearish. And for this sake, I waited this 1 hour candle to close below this breaker, and then creating a bearish fair value gap. Then it opens up to raid this sell side, plus opens up the targets to this initial target of, let's say, Monday's New York low, or let's say Monday's low. So after this 1 hour closed, I placed my order around the 1 hour fair value gap, and I targeted this sell side over here. Okay, now the next day, this was triggered the hour before after I placed my order at New York Silver Bullet. Price delivered beautifully. Why? Because I already taken the confirmation. I'm already placing my trade in 1 hour imbalance only after displacement. So not any imbalance is important unless it comes after a clear displacement to the downside. So notice the difference between this trade and this trade. There's a huge difference. So there's a confirmation, there's a clear bias, and there's an imbalance. So just one adjustment I've done into this trade, that when I saw that Asia created a low and London opened, I just trailed my stop loss into Asia low. So at this candle right here, I was out simply to avoid any kind of manipulation, and because price already marked a low, and that was enough for me to get out at this low. So we can consider this trade was like this, perceived, executed, and booked beautifully. So the week carried on with nothing really happened. But anyway, the week just closed, and this week I've taken just this trade on EU, and then last week of April was also significant. So there was a 12-hour order block over here that we've seen. Let me show you the 12-hour order block, also the only up closing candle inside this wave. So notice this was the high, sweep for the high, and the displacement. Within the displacement of this wave, you see this is the only up closing candle on the 12-hour time frames. So the community and I was very clear about the area of interest, especially that price did not tap into the daily fair value gap yet, which is still open by the way, but we will talk about this a little bit later. So a retracement back into the OB12 was on our plan, and then we want to see a clear market structure shift to continue our narrative to the downside. So this was a really significant level of interest. So what we've seen is the following. On the 1 hour time frame, there wasn't like a clear market structure shift like this one. Okay, it was all internal on the lower time frame. And since I'm not executing yet on the lower time frame, I wanted to see a full displacement to the downside, taking this low. And why this low specifically? Because it marked the last low before price made the new break of structure. So after this, it's an internal change of character, but overall it's a break of structure. So I don't want you to confuse yourself by break of structure and change of character and all of that stuff, because really, like, um, any trader can interpret those information based on his logic. But yes, there has to be like a common ground between all of the methodologies that you trade. So change of character is the first time price change the market structure to the upside or to the downside. But anyway, after this sell-off over here, we made sure that price respected the 12-hour OB, and right now we have a clear objective to the downside to take this sell side, the weekly fair value gap, and the daily fair value gap. So what happened is the following. Price created an 8-hour fair value gap over here, and the existence of this 8-hour fair value gap coming after the break of structure is a reason that price is actually distributing to the downside. There's some huge momentum within this leg to the downside, and it did not tap into the sell side yet. So this was the 8-hour fair value gap, and my order was right at the 8-hour fair value gap as a sell limit order, placing my stop above here and targeting this low. Now this trade played out perfectly. I've taken it before on Tuesday, and I was patient to hold it through Wednesday, which was the FOMC rate. So notice what happened during Asia. During Asia, price raided this buy side, which is the high of Tuesday. No, sorry, not the high of Tuesday, but high of the New York session in Tuesday. Filled out this last 1 hour imbalance, which aligns with this breaker and this previous buy side liquidity, and then created a beautiful displacement to the downside, retracement into the discount and into the premium, sorry, and then sold off during the FOMC rates. So one adjustment I've done into my take profit is that on a New York session, I was happy to go out from this trade simply to avoid the manipulation on the news, and I just wanted to be carefree state of mind in order to see what could happen on the news. So I just trailed my take profit from this high to this internal high on the 5 minutes time frame. So almost 2.4 risk was collected on this trade. Now moving forward, the last day of April. After this day, I really wanted to take a break, and there was a lot of news on EU and GU interest rates, so I really just wanted to chill for the last couple of days um, of the month. But as a trade recap, I need to be open about the potential trade setups that you could have taken on the 1 hour time frame. So you see how price swept this sell side, okay, the sell side of Wednesday. So this is Thursday. Thursday is sweeping the sell side of Wednesday and then directly closed above this high over here, marking another change of character, but this time it's bullish. So all of this time price couldn't break clearly above a 1 hour structure like this time. It was very clear, full of momentum. It contains couple of 1 hour imbalances that was taken and then push to the upside. So notice how critical the retrace was into 1 hour breaker. So again, this is an A plus setup that you could have entered on the 1 hour breaker and target at least this buy side. And notice something also. Notice that this displacement, okay, did not reach this internal buy side yet. So the target was very open. And this what makes this setup really A plus because it's a displacement, clear change of character on the 1 hour time frame. There is at least the simple or the first realistic draw on is not taken yet, so there's a clear draw onto the upside, and there's an A plus plus area of interest to retrace into. So this was the last trade of April. In my opinion, that was an A plus. This is just for you to recap, but I haven't taken this trade with full transparency within this recap. So the results that I've had on EU is almost 2.2 hours on this, minus 0.5 on this trade, minus 1, this was taken with full loss, plus 2.3 and plus 2.3 hours on this trade. So if you calculate all of those, yes, almost 5 hours are booked from EU on April with, notice something, those 5 hour at small adjustment can be different because you could have either scaled in on this continuation to the upside, you could have avoided this trade on the confirmation. Also, this trade could have been avoided. A slight adjustment on the lower time frame, taking the 15 minutes time frame. This is also a take profit over here, as well as this one by simply placing a sell limit order at this level, protecting it with this high and targeting this sell side. This is also another take profit. This was well done and really nothing here. Here on the lower time frame or just a simple sell limit orders, but it depends when you can create a sell limit order and when not. We'll talk about this later on in a different update. But really this is an example on how like slight adjustment or avoiding a loss could really make a great change in your R multiples at the end of the day. So I want you to study this price action for yourself, okay? Right on the 1 hour time frame. And if you want to like sharpen your entries even more, see how you could have avoided this loss and this loss, you can scale down into the 15 minutes or the 5 minutes time frame. And I want you to witness the difference between a loss and a really A plus setup. After the full confirmation, being patient on the trade, let it play out, and how when price is really want to go into a certain direction, it's really showing you that yes, I'm going in this direction. All you need to do after that is just to be patient, wait for a retracement into a discount or premium, and then you can either buy or sell. So thank you if you made it that far. I will talk about GU in a different section because this took enough time. It's almost 28 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed and set those trades on your charts and let me know if you have taken one of those trades, taken another trades and so on. So thank you again and I will see you in the next update.